this is actually one of the things that I want to show Americans in general, because like people have this like false assertion, false notion that it's people have this like false notion that it's like they will arrest you for a meme or whatever. It's not like that at all. Okay, calm down.
It's not like that at all. But you just explained that the police detained you to make sure your meme wasn't making fun of Mao. Up next, we're going to check in with our favorite left-wing celebrity and internet influencer, Hasan Piker, the self-described socialist and Marxist, because Hasan has gone on a little trip to China to see for himself the joys of authoritarian kind of socialist rule, less so now than it was historically, certainly, and he went there to mess around and is already finding out. Shocker. So this insane saga is playing out where Hasan went to an event honoring Chairman Mao, the former communist dictator who killed millions in China, and was like detained by the police and had his phone confiscated and inspected because of a meme about Mao. And then he still somehow came away with the impression that China's great, way better than America. Like, you actually can't make this stuff up. Here's the footage of what happened with Hasan getting detained by a police officer at this event and having to turn over, I think, his friend he was with's phone. And then the footage might be a little hard to follow, but I'll just roll it and then I'll explain to you what's happening here.
Roger, you seen this?
Oh, yeah.
Look. Yeah.
这是什么呀？他录的视频。
你是他导游？
没有。Good film.
Stop.
Okay.
So, in case that was hard to follow, here's the reporting from Newsweek. Hasan Piker stopped from filming by police in China, what we know. American online political commentator Hasan Piker is going viral after being confronted by security while live streaming at Beijing's Tiananmen Square early Tuesday morning. Footage uploaded to the live video streaming platform Twitch shows Piker and fellow streamers on their visit to attend the daily sunset flag-raising ceremony that takes place in front of Tiananmen Gate and the portrait of Chinese Communist Party founder Mao Zedong. We should just pause on that. If you guys don't know, Mao Zedong, the historical estimates vary, but there are serious estimates that he is responsible for more deaths than any other human being, including Adolf Hitler, because his repression of the Chinese people, his killing of dissidents, the mass famine and starvations that his policies caused, all of that contributed to so many millions of deaths. He may actually have killed more people than Hitler. But Hasan likes Mao and went to this ceremony to be like, oh, this is awesome. Let's go check out this ceremony honoring Mao. Yeah, this is totally somebody who should be guiding millions of young people. Totally fine and normal. Anyway, I'll keep reading here. Authorities closely monitor recording activities at Tiananmen Square, a symbol of China's political power and site of major historical events, including the pro-democracy protest the government forces violently suppressed on June 4th, 1989. Within seconds, a police officer approached and instructed them to put away the phone, which they did, though the audio kept recording. Neff, who is one of the other streamers, then held up his phone to the camera to show what appeared to be an AI-created image showing Mao in the likeness of Piker, accompanied by the Maoist slogan, "Closely follow the great leader Chairman Mao forward in the revolution." So they're doing memes about like, haha, Mao's awesome. Hasan is just like Mao. Let's go, king. I mean, it should be viewed similarly to as if they were doing that about Hitler. Hasan Piker is left-wing Nick Fuentes, just so you know. That's unambiguous at this point. But the difference is that, well, maybe it's changing a little bit and Nick Fuentes is being semi-normalized, but mainstream media and left-wing progressive outlets, and they celebrate Hasan Piker, whereas obviously Nick Fuentes doesn't get that same treatment. Now, because this meme was shown and an officer spotted it, they made them turn over the phone and inspected it. So here's what happened more from Newsweek here. He wants to see the photo, the translator said after a brief exchange. Neff replied that he hadn't taken any photo. The translator relayed, he said he saw you. Oh, I was just holding the camera, but I didn't do anything yet, Neff answered. The officer then asked to review the most recent footage from the live stream. The broadcast abruptly cut to black with an intermission intermission screen displaying the message, "We're doing secret memes, be right back," later being added. When the broadcast resumed, Piker and the group were seen laughing about the encounter as they continued toward the square. "This is awesome. I don't know why people aren't enjoying all of this," Piker said. What part of being detained by Chinese police at a celebration honoring a murderous dictator because they thought you may have had a meme making fun of the dictator and having to convince them that you actually meant to honor the dictator is the fun in the room with us? Like, this is actually crazy to me. You went there because you have this delusional propagandized view that China is somehow this amazing, free, wonderful place and America is evil and bad, encountered firsthand, like the kind of repression that people complain about in China. And then we're like, oh, this is amazing. Let's go. I don't know, man. This is so demoralizing that these are the most popular and listened to people on the internet, and they're just spreading this. But at least the comments on this were funny on X. One person wrote, "Bro thought he could IRL in real life stream in Tiananmen Square like it's Times Square." China said, "Content creation privileges revoked." Another person said, "Customs and Border Patrol checks Hasan's phone. I'm being targeted. This is fascism." CCP checks Hasan's phone. "Oh, it's just a quick security check. No big deal." It is funny if you think back, and we covered it at the time. And I do think it was somewhat concerning, but I guess I just don't know what really happened because I don't trust him as a narrator. But Hasan played the victim and cried wolf when he was interrogated entering the U.S. by Customs and Border Patrol. But the Chinese police stop and seize his phone over a meme or his friend's phone over a meme, and he's like, "Oh, this is fun. Woo, yeah!" Like, kind of diabolical, actually, that double standard. Now, somebody from the Hoover Institution at Stanford, who grew up in China, wrote of Hasan's post, "Foreigners are finally beginning to see a reality the Chinese are intimately familiar with day in, day out, and have long attained a skin-level understanding of. Not only is there no freedom to criticize the government of China, people don't even have the freedom to praise China. Whether you support or criticize the state, all speech is subject to political review. You don't need to expose the system exposes itself." Now, of course, unfortunately, this guy, who must not be too familiar with Hasan's work, assumed, understandably, that Hasan's takeaway would be like, wow, dang, this really is kind of dystopian and bad. Actually, his takeaway was that the police were entirely in the right and that American police are worse. I'm not joking. You cannot make this up. I'm going to roll y'all a clip of Hasan recapping what happened later on his stream. And FYI, guys, this clip has been sped up, but not by me, so I can't undo it. So sorry about that, but it will help us get through it quicker, I guess. Let's take a look.
What happened when the police showed up? The flag raising ceremony that we went to is not a thing that white people normally go to, right? It's not normally something that like white people attend, right? And I assume that they are probably extra attentive and extra careful about people coming to do shit. Like, there's a reason why, for example, there were Chinese nationals on each other's backs, right? But I knew that like if we did it, we would get called out by cops because like by and large, especially like the government is aware of like how they are perceived or how much like anti-Chinese propaganda exists out there.
It's all anti-Chinese propaganda after you've just had your devices inspected because of a meme. Wow.
And I think the older people are also aware of it as well, but I think the younger populations in China are, ironically enough, less aware. Like the younger normies are less aware of the animosity that exists, which shouldn't exist at all, obviously, but unfortunately does. And it's almost entirely one-sided, entirely designed by America. But yeah, we're white. So as foreigners in China at this like national event rather than an international one, where as you guys noticed, like they didn't have any like foreigners there at all. He thought he saw something on the phone, like he thought we were like making a mockery. You know what I mean?
So we'll get into the meat of this. He's about to, but just. So he's saying they were justified to stop and inspect their devices over a meme the officer may have spotted because they're white. And none of this is ringing dystopian. None of this is helping him realize that this is an authoritarian state. He's all just like, no, it's fun. It makes total sense. Why wouldn't you inspect white people's phones for memes as the police? What? Like, totally, yeah. Sir, what? The crazy thing is I think he believes all this. I don't think he's just like doing a bit or playing a character for the audience to monetize or capitalize. I think he actually has drunk the Kool-Aid this much. which is astounding, really.
They didn't realize that we were swagged out white boys who love China. Are you being careful with your words? No, I'm just telling you like it is. Like they thought they were being extra attentive to make sure that no one is making fun of Mao or anything like that, or the ceremony, and that's what they were that's what it was. It's normal for police to take close look at foreigners to make sure that white people don't do stupid shit. Yeah, it's just it's a cultural difference, and also they just don't want anyone to pull a Logan Paul or anything like that. How was it resolved? What do you mean? We just talk to him.
So he thinks that's normal and makes sense. Like, yeah, of course. They were just making sure no one was making fun of dear leader. You can't do that. You can't have that. What? That's called freedom of speech. It's called living in a free country. You could, I know Hasan hates America and hates the West. You could go to any public square in America and hold up horrendous memes mocking Trump, and you're not going to get arrested. And if you by somehow did, it would be held as illegal in court and you would be free to go. Like, he's like, oh yeah, of course, they were just making sure. They didn't know that we love Mao. Like we think the guy who killed millions and engaged in all these horrific human rights abuses is amazing because he killed landlords and landlords suck. Like, we love him. They didn't understand. They were just making sure we weren't doing the bad speech or the thought criming. Then they would have had to, I don't know, arrest us, detain us, whatever. And that, of course they would. Sir, the mask is coming off. Wow.
We just were like, no, that's not, we're not doing that at all. We're just here to experience the event. This is actually one of the things that I want to show Americans in general, because like people have this like false assertion, false notion that it's people have this like false notion that it's like they will arrest you for a meme or whatever. It's not like that at all. Okay, calm down.
Excuse me? It's not like that at all. But you just explained that the police detained you to make sure your meme wasn't making fun of Mao, and only you were free to go once you explained that it was a "we love Mao" meme. So it is like that. Did he not just pick up on the fact that he totally contradicted himself? Wow.
It's funny because like I've dealt with cops at this point all around the world, as you guys know. So as far as like cops that I've dealt with all around the world, European cops in France, American cops, just European cops in other European countries, and even Japanese cops as well, I will say that it's not even remotely up there. The further west you go, the worse cops get, the more aggressive they get. America being the worst one out of all of them.
Wow. Well, I think that American police are certainly not beyond a reproach, and I'm happy to talk about reforms, criticisms, flaws, all that and more. But you miss me with this nonsense about how American cops are worse. American police can't detain you over a meme, okay? Because there's something called free speech and the First Amendment, and on the rare occasion that does happen, it's overthrown in court, as it should be. But Hasan, I think it's just so clear that he has this virulent anti-America bias and then this strong bias towards foreign authoritarian regimes and even mass murderers just because they give socialist vibes or whatever. And yet this is somebody who millions of young people take their political cues and insights from. That is quite bad. We are quite literally cooked if this kind of sentiment and perspective pervades and spreads among the next generation of leaders and voters and heads of household and American citizens. But it's also a testament to how impervious people who are truly seized by tribal ideology can be to reality slapping them in the face. Because to any thinking person, this experience might cause him to reevaluate some of his prior notions about the Chinese Communist Party and the Chinese government and how bad America really is, and American police being the worst in the world, an absurd statement, even if they're far from perfect. But he's just somehow engaged in anti-reality. And frankly, it's not helping him beat the terrorist sympathizer allegations, the anti-America zealot allegations, any of the allegations against him, really. This whole saga really only confirms them. But all I can hope is that some people in his audience would be watching along and something's not adding up to them. It's like, wait, but they were going to arrest, like they were detaining you over the meme. Wait, but I thought you said China was amazing and free and everyone was allowed to be, it was all just Western propaganda. But you did get detained. Like, I can only hope that some people are smart enough and still critical and independently thinking enough to wake up maybe from this experience and this saga. because other than that, it's just bleak. But I guess when it comes to content, at least, Hasan is a gift that keeps on giving. So I will thank him for that much. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments, like, yada, yada, yeah. And that'll be it for today's episode of the Brad vs. Everyone podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. Do make sure that you rate and review us on audio podcast platforms. And we will talk again real soon.